Hello everyone, welcome back to that cyber guy. So today we are going to discuss encryption. So when it comes to encryptions, you have encryptions at rest, encryption in transit, and then encryption keys. So for encryption in transit, we are not going to discuss them today because they are not a big deal. It's like TLS. You can buy SSL, for your website. But what we are going to cover today is called symmetric and asymmetric keys. So many times you know already that a symmetric key is using only one key to encrypt and decrypt data, whereas an asymmetric key uses like a public and a private key. So today this is what we are going to demonstrate because many times you may know the term but you don't know how to do it. So we are going to try to do it through OpenSSL. But before we start, I always encourage you guys to go to Google to learn about, you know, what the topic that we are discussing. So we can just start Chrome. I'm going to just change the color to a, and then I'm going to just start Chrome in incognito mode. And just search what is okay, symmetric and is asymmetric keys. And then you can scroll down. You're gonna see a lot of things here. What you can actually do, I can actually put Wikipedia. Okay. Then you can just come to Wikipedia and learn more about symmetric keys, and they give you a bunch of lessons and diagram where you can just learn. But many time you just know the term, but you don't understand, how it works. So let's just see how it works. So we are going to just go into our Kali machine to have a demonstration. So first of all, we are going to open our terminal and make sure that you have OpenSSL installed. I already installed OpenSSL, but if you do not have it, you can just type sudo apt install OpenSSL, and they're gonna ask you for a password. And just let it go. All right, so you see mine doesn't take a long time because I already have OpenSSL. But in your case, they may probably ask you questions, yes or no. You have to type Y or N. Y for yes and N for no. All right. So to get started, what we are going to do, we are going to just go to into our desktop. We are going to change directory desktop. So because the file that I'm going to put, I want you to see them. So first of all, I can just create a file called can echo this is a secret. And then I call it test.txt. Now you see the file is here. If I just use a cat command, test.txt, should see this is a secret. Now I have the file, but now I need to generate a symmetric key by using the random 32 base 64. So at some point we are going to discuss base 64. Base 64 is a way that this randomize like words that in a way that it doesn't make sense, but you can still, or you can always use base 64 to just like you can just always just use base 64 to just turn something into unreadable text, and you can just reverse it as well. So that being said, base 64 is not encryption. All right, so let's just generate our symmetric key, OpenSSL. What you have to understand. For example, we are going to type a lot of comments. If you want to learn about more about OpenSSL, you can just type OpenSSL dash L, and you're gonna see all the keys algorithm that you can use. So we are going to use them to demonstrate symmetric and asymmetric. All right. So first of all, we need to generate the key OpenSSL and then random base 64 and the 32-bit. You can just give it 64. Yeah, sorry, 32 byte. Yeah, you can just sorry, bit 32-bit. You can just give it like 64 byte. So yeah, I keep saying the same thing. Bit 64-bit, etc. But in my case, I just give it 32 bits. All right, and then we are going to say the symmetric underscore key .txt. Now, as you can see here, the symmetric key is like actually available. If I just cat test.txt, I make a typo. Cat test.txt. So yeah, oh my, cat symmetric, because this is the name of the file. Symmetric key.txt. See, it just doesn't make sense. But this is not encryption. It's like a base 64. Because if you go online, you can actually turn this into the actual word. All right. So now we have our symmetric keys available. Now we are going to try to generate a key pair, an asymmetric key pair for a public and private key. So first of all, we are going to generate the one for the private key. OpenSSL generate private key, gen p key, and space dash algorithm. And the algorithm that we are going to use is RSA. RSA is for asymmetric keys. They always use it, but for symmetric keys, they use the advanced encryption standard. All right. So we can just RSA and dash out private key, private underscore key that PEM. As you can see here, there we go. The private key is generated right here, and I don't have to cut it because you can just see the how it looks. Doesn't make sense to human. And then we are going to just generate the public key right now, because asymmetric uses two keys. OpenSSL RSA dash PUB out dash N private key dash PEM out the public key underscore public underscore key PEM. Now, once I hit enter, you're gonna see the key generated. There we go. We have the public key right here. Now we can just actually cat public underscore key that PEM. See, it's a bunch of thing that doesn't make sense because it's an encryption. Now we have the base 64 available for the symmetric key. We have the private and the public key for the asymmetric key. Let's just go ahead, encrypt, use those keys to encrypt test.txt. So first of all, we are going to encrypt test.txt using the symmetric keys. Okay, to do so, we are going to do OpenSSL encrypt dash admin encryption standard 256 bit a bit, and we are going to do the CDC. So when it comes to encryption, sometimes you just have 256 or the numbers, so that's gonna be up to you. And then we're gonna use the salt and okay, this that txt dash out encrypted underscore symmetric that txt dash pass. Those files, they are very long. Symmetric underscore key dot txt. So this is the encrypted file. Now this encrypted file is like the test.txt. For example, if I cat encrypted symmetric .txt, see that? Yeah, it's salted. So this is how if they are transmitted data or they do anything like using the symmetric key for encryption or encryption at rest. This is how it's gonna look. So now this is that you have to make sure that you use the public key TF2 if you're going to use this for production. But we are just here for the learning purposes. Now let's just encrypt our file now using the asymmetric key. So to do so, we are going to type open SSL because this is the base. R S A U T L encrypt, and then the public and that N key. Okay, now we're gonna use the public key that we use that we created, because as you can remember, if I don't know if you remember, we created two keys, private and public keys. We're going to utilize them right here at PEM dash N this that TXT. We're gonna just out it dash out encrypted asymmetric that bean. As you can see here, for asymmetric they use that bean for binary because it just the way it created it is just on purpose, so it's not readable to human. All right, there we go. Now we have the encrypted asymmetric key. If we cat encrypted asymmetric that bin or binary, so it looks like that. This is just the information that is inside test.txt. Now all the files they are encrypted. What we can do, how to decrypt them. To decrypt them, we are going to just decrypt them using the same key for the symmetric. We're going to open SSL. It's gonna be similar, like the same way that you encrypt it, but you're gonna just change some if you comment open SSL encrypt dash the advanced encryption standard dash the 256 that we are using CBC, and then now we have to put dash D, which means decrypt dash N. Yeah. And then we are going to use, the encrypted text that we created, because that text is the one that was encrypted that didn't make sense. See right here. This is the text that we are going to try to decrypt. Encrypted underscore symmetry, because this is symmetric.txt. This is a name that we gave that file that we encrypted. And then out decrypted. So we are creating, we just use the encrypted file, and then we're gonna just output it like, as a we are going to output it with a new file called decrypted that symmetric that's gonna pop up here once we are done. Symmetric.txt dash pass, passing the file symmetry underscore key.txt. Now the decrypted file. Now if we can actually, if we cut decrypted the symmetric .txt, see, this is a secret, which is the original from the actual file test.txt. This is a secret. So now we are going to try to decrypt the asymmetric key, the asymmetric text that we have here. As you can see here, the asymmetric key is encrypted. So now we are going to try to decrypt it using the public and the private key. So to do so, what we are going to do, we are going to use the OpenSSL RSAULT UTL, and then in this case we're gonna use the decrypt keywords, and then N key, the private key .pem dash N encrypted the asymmetric. This was a file that we created actually, that bin out, and decrypted asymmetric.txt. So we are going to have a new file called asymmetric.txt. Now there's one thing that I want you to keep in mind here. I don't know if you noticed that. So if we go up there from the comment that we wrote, let me go a little bit up. Yeah, we use the public key to encrypt test.txt, and then we give the file a name, encrypted asymmetric.bin for the binary. But now to decrypt it, we use the private key right here. As you can see, the private key right here, this private key we use to decrypt it. And then you can hit enter. See, we should have a new file here called decrypted asymmetric.txt. We can actually verify it now. Cat decrypted asymmetric.txt. This is a secret. So this file is decrypted now. So we can just actually, verify, we can verify the data, to see that, if there's a differences into them, we can just use the differential keyword, differential test.txt, and then use the decrypted file. So we are going to compare each file that was encrypted and decrypted to see if there was any differential. If there's a differential, you should see an error message, but there's nothing. So you can do the same for the asymmetric as well. Decrypted underscore asymmetric .txt, because there's nothing. So now if there was a change, for example, let me see if I alter this. It's a secret. All right, blah, blah, blah. I put a bunch of things that, and then I just from here, if I hit enter, see? So because I hit enter, you see the extra thing that I added appears right here, meaning that the file has been altered. So yeah, this is basically all that it is. Like I hope that you guys learned something today. Because many times people talk about symmetric and asymmetric keys that they use. Symmetric keys use only one keys to encrypt and decrypt data, whereas asymmetric use a public and a private keys. Make sure that you like and subscribe, to just stay up to date with the latest cybersecurity trends and skills.